Right, so I've done something really stupid, and when I say done, I mean bought. Not planned, kind of an impulse buy. A really good friend phoned me yesterday and said he was around his friends, had an old Japanese car for sale, would anybody be interested? So I replied basically, what is it? 300 ZX. I said, is it manual? He said yes. He says, and it has a turbocharger. So I have ended up with this. At this current point, really have no idea what I'm doing with it. I would like to say I'm going to keep it and restore it, because they're very rare now. So far I've ascertained that the windows won't go up, so I'm yet to discover what the problem is with that. I would assume maybe it could just be a blow fuse, to be fair. It has got rust, as you would expect. Like, the sills are completely gone, the bottom of the door is bad, the floor's crusty, holes around there, all the inner seam has gone. You can poke your hole through it anywhere you like. It won't start. Well, I haven't tried to start it, but it's got some old alarm system, and the key fob obviously hasn't got the electronic part inside it, which is helpful, but it does just look like two wires to the ignition coil, so I don't think it's going to be too much hassle to bypass that. Hasn't been started for about 10 years, so need to flush the fuel, oil down the bores, turn it over by hand, new fuel, new oil, fuel filter, oil filter, and all that stuff. Boot is a bit crusty there, other side seems fine. Seems fine around the back of the suspension turrets, a bit of surface there, and general nastiness in all sorts of places really, so it would be a complete strip down. Resolve all the rust and rebuild. On the screen there, all around the screen. I mean, the front strut tops are perfect. Actually the whole engine bay is pretty much perfect. There's no signs of rust really anywhere. So it's mainly in the cabin and the boot area. So the first thing I need to do is make the windows work so it doesn't get wet, and then get it in the garage and try and make it run. So in other news, some parts have arrived for the SLK finally. My wheels finally arrived, seller on eBay, cheaper than anybody else, so I suppose it was worth the wait. They're just an 8.75 18-inch XXR, similar style to the fronts being Japan Racing, and they have discontinued this colour, which is really disappointing because I was hoping to buy all the rears to match. Found XXRs are the same sort of style in a matte black, so the original thoughts were to just rattle can the fronts to match the backs, but I think I'm going to spray them all green to match the body colour of the car when it's finished. The wheel arches I've ordered from Poland, Still haven't arrived. They're now 2 weeks late. It appears as if they're stuck in customs. They haven't moved, or the tracking information hasn't moved for 10 days now. So hopefully they'll be released and arrive soon. That being said, I'm now not sure whether I'm going to continue with this. I'll get the Z31 in here and restore that, or whether it's just a case of putting everything back together again and maybe seeing what the thing is worth as it is, make it run first. There is quite a lot of rust, so it would be a relatively lengthy project. So it would be a nice car to have, it would be a nice car to own, and it would be a nice project to undertake, but I'm really desperate to get back to competition drifting. So yeah, I think I need to get that in here and just review the situation properly, get underneath the car, see if there's any other nasty surprises, and then maybe make a decision from there. Get the thing working, get the windows working so it can go outside again, and sort of assess from there, really. You know, it's going to be a difficult decision to make, to be honest, because like I said, I'm absolutely desperate to get out in this thing, give it some more power, and the plan was to get out competing next year. I think if I bring the Z31 in here, realistically, just purely down to time, that would be out of the question. You know, maybe, I don't know, full resto, 6 to 8 months if I really get stuck in. I'm not sure, never really undertaken anything like that before. When I pull things to bits, they normally don't go back together the same way because they're a competition car rather than a road car. The interior parts, I've got no clue, never done anything like that. As far as the welding, restoring things, that's no particular problem. I'd have to be a little bit more conscious of the appearance of any of the